Hello. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody, to a very. Why is my arm stuck like that? Okay, here we go. Welcome in. Okay, this camera is way too precise. It's weird. The Fallout, baby. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special edition of the superhero Zatsudan. It is Monday, September 1st, and a lot of things went on over the weekend. Things happened. Things took not a turn, but they took. They were there. It happened. Things they are a movement. And I feel like there is no better time to talk about it than this very special edition of the superhero Zatsudan. I am, of course, your host, Call Sign Henshin, your favorite mercenary hero, coming to you live from the year 2025. How's everyone doing today? It is a jam packed Monday because we are going to be looking back on Gavv. We're looking back on Kamen Rider Gavv, its entire 50 episode run. Obviously, we're not watching the whole thing because no, I mean we're going to assume you've already seen all of it, but we are watching the last episode here on stream today. And obviously, we're going to then after that look back on the entirety of Gavv as a whole, and then from there give the overall series its flowers and its due rating, and then we prepare for the future. Though actually, I should say that we should prepare for the future first because we have some Gav news to start the show. Um, Real big stuff. But before we get started, I just want to know, hey, did you do that thing that you said you were gonna do? Did you go to that place that you said you wanted to see? Did you talk to that person that you've been putting off talking to for the longest time because you thought they were out of your league? Did you do it yet? Because I don't know if you did. Did you do it? I hope you did. Because remember, only you can affect the future. Only you can affect your own life. Something to think about. Anyway, well, this is the Superhero Zatsudan, the show where we take a look at this week in tokusatsu and superhero time specifically. We take a look at what's going on with Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, and then we live react. We have a discussion in chat, and we overall just have ourselves an awesome Monday. All right, this is mainly this show is an excuse for me to watch the episodes in time, but it also encourages those of y'all who come in to watch the show to watch with me and have comments in the chat, and then we have a discussion about it. It's not just a live react; it's a discussion. So ultimately, I hope everyone is interacting. I hope if you don't like interacting, that's fine. I love having you here. Love having you here. The Twitch counter might not recognize you, but I recognize you. My lurkers, my lurkers, you are important to me. So I appreciate you here, even if the counter don't show you. I appreciate you being here. But regardless, a lot to get into today. So we are gonna just get right into it with some Zets news because we had a press conference over the weekend. And on top of that, the announcement. The announcement of how you'll get to be able to watch Kamen Rider Zets in the good old US of A, baby. That announcement came through on August 30th, so that was 2 days ago. So we're now touching on it here on the show. So without further ado, let's go ahead. You you already missed Gavv Sanjo? Yeah. I mean, we're watching the last episode today, and I get it. And I get it. I get it. Sorry, I didn't want to make it sound like I thought you were being like I was incredulous or anything, because it took me a minute. It technically aired a couple of days ago, but I haven't seen it yet. But I would get why you would miss it. I get why you would miss it. But anyway, we're gonna get right into the news here. So let's go ahead and bring up the. Let's go ahead and bring up the do do do. Let's go ahead and bring this up on screen. The Kamen Rider Zets press conference. So they had a press conference regarding the show, and they made this announcement, which we will delve to here in a minute. But let's go ahead and see if we can't watch the press conference. Oh, it's a 12-minute press conference. All right, perfect. And it's in English. Perfect. All right, let's sit back. Let me turn off the music here for our live viewers. Let's go ahead. I have not seen this. I'm going to preface this. I have not seen the press conference, so I'm excited. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Kamen Rider Zets Press conference. Oh, this is going to be good. I always miss these. They do these every year with Kamen Rider and Super Sentai. I more often than not miss these. Because obviously, they don't get translated. This has official subtitles. This is great. Let's go ahead and take a look. Please welcome the cast of Kamen Rider Z. Oh, this looks nice. There's our guy, Ryotaro Imai. There's our guy. Do the pose. Do the thing. Nem. Okay, we are definitely getting Kamen Rider Nem. We're definitely getting that. The one name character? Oh, yeah, no. She's getting a writer form. Tetsuya Fujimi. Nasuka Nagumo. You're giving me wizard vibes for some reason. Minami Yorozu, you're giving me build vibes. And then Nox just out here being a fucking beast. You definitely give me 01 vibes for some reason. Baku Yorosu. He's a man with a strong spirit who stands up to any kind of evil. Oh, I have desktop audio off. Hold on.
ネムを演じさせていただきます。堀口真帆です。私が演じるネムはみんなの夢に出てきちゃうくらい人気な国民的タレントです。性格としては明るくて気さくな性格です。ネムちゃんといえばおやすみございますというセリフがあるんですけど、ちょっと今日は皆さんにそれを覚えていってほしいなと思うので、
I feel like that's gonna catch. おやすみございます。
ございますって言ってください。いきますよ。おやすみ。ありがとうございます。
警視庁公安部海事課課長藤見哲也役の三島健太です。
Chief of the Paranormal Affairs Division.
世の中に起こる
it's gonna be interesting to see them like do like a police organization. That's gonna be interesting. I like the dynamic in Drive. I like the dynamic in Drive. I thought the whole traffic police division, I thought that like all fit in really nicely. So seeing it with Zeds, I think is gonna be interesting.
私はバクの妹役なんですけど、実際には妹じゃなくてお姉ちゃんじゃないのかなと思うほどしっかりしていて、
you bitch, you burying Baku already. Don't do that.
お兄ちゃんが喋ってる時に撮ってもらう。
Don't bury him. Don't do that.
謎の男ノクス役を演じさせていただきます古川祐希と申します。皆様と一緒に盛り上げていきたいと思っていますので、皆様ぜひ応援していただけますと大変嬉しく思います。
皆さんどうも仮面ライダー Z のゼロの声を担当させていただきます。
The voice of Zero, Jay Karida.
J です。
I feel like I know that name. I don't know why, but
かなりびっくりというか、me? Kamen Rider Series Me? 今井くんに僕からミッションを課します。会場にいる皆さん、そして配信をご覧になってる皆さんにクールな。
So Zero is, for those who don't know, is the bike. Zero is the anthropomorphic bike that is like the head of the org. Okay, did your eye color change? What the fuck? Did you put on contacts? Just spin that thing. Rising. Wait, I think it's the same voice who does the 01 driver. Rising Impact.
声優の山寺宏一さんにご担当いただいております。
山寺宏一さん。
変身ベルトの声。
Okay, I've seen your face before.
とても誇りに思います。胸に巻くという
Where have
革
I
新
seen you
的な
before?
スタイルをはじめ、
I think he's done some cameos in past writers, but like as a physical. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if he did the 01 belts. I wouldn't be surprised. And of course, the GOAT, Yuya Takahashi, the man who gave us Geats.
まずそのデザインを見てもらえば分かる通り、仮面ライダー1号を彷彿とさせるような
The colors and style are reminiscent of Kamen Rider Ichigo.
デザイン
Very much
という
so.
のを見たときに、世界に向けてグローバルにこう仮面ライダーというものはこういうものであるっていうことを
So here's the thing, someone made it, and I mentioned this last week.
作品になるんだろうな
That's
というふう
Spike
に思い
Spiegel as the
それ
director.
に
Spike
ふさわしい
Spiegel, wow,
なん
damn.
だろうと思った時に
Spike Spiegel?
全世界
You
どんな
bullshit. No,
人
you're
た
not. I know
ち
you're
にも
not. I know you're not. But
共通する
you
夢と
bullshit.
まあ映
No,
画に
but
出てくる
Spike Spiegel as the
エージェント
driver,
が
that's fucking
ふさわしいんじゃ
goat.
ないかな
That's
と思ったの
goated.
が始まりで 子供の頃に、最初
When
に
we're
こう
children?
恐怖に
Oh
思っ
no,
た
our
り
earliest
怖いな
fears
と
is
思っ
nightmare.
た
You know what?
ものの
Kind
一
of
つと
that
して
kind of boils
悪
it
夢
down
っていうの
pretty
はあると
much.
思っていて、そういうこう悪夢からこう守ってくれるヒーローっ
Wanted
ていうもの
Zets
と
to
し
be the
て
hero who protects us from the
仮面
nightmares.
ライダー
You know,
っていう
it's
もの
pretty
を
much
描いてい
it's
け
a
ないかなっ
basic
ていうのが
it's a
そう始
basic
まりました。
dynamic, but it works, right?
夢
Who likes
ってい
nightmares?
う
Nobody likes
ことに
nightmares.
対してどうアプローチをするかがかなり勝負だなと思った部分が大きかったですけど、僕もやっぱデザインを
I know he's wearing
ラ
a
イダーデザイン
hakama
を
for
最初に見
pants,
た
but
時に
in my
正
head,
直
my
震え
first
たので、
reaction was
で
those are some pretty
まあ
wide
皆さんの
ass
本気度
pants.
もう
But
伝
I
わ
know
って
it's a
きたの
hakama, I think.
で、これは
Because I've never
嘘つ
seen
けないなと
actual
思ったんですよ。
pants that look
そう
like that.
世界を視野に入れてっていう中で視聴され
He's,
る
he's
方
kind
々
of doing like
が
a mix of
まあ
traditional
割とや
and
っぱり
modern.
もう映
There
像
with the
と
shirt.
いうクオリティにもう目が超えている時代だと思ってるんで、
The narrator
真
for
正
Zero,
面
that
から
okay, it tracks.
かっ
It
こいいっ
tracks.
て思える
It tracks
正々
then.
堂々のかっこ
So
よ
he
さ
was the
っていう
VO
も
for
のは、
yeah.
ちょっと言い
That's
方
why
が
it
あれかも
sounded
しれない
so
ですけ
because
ど
in my
見
head
せ
when
つ
I
け
heard
た
him
いと
say
いう
impact, my brain
でそれで
immediately
受け入れ
went
てもらいたいって思
rising
いがあったの
impact,
で
and I'm like,
そういう
oh,
意味で僕も世界を視
so
野に入れたんじゃな
definitely
いで
the
すか
same
ね。
guy.
あなた
Messages
が
to the
子供の
fans.
頃夢に出てきた夢に見たであろう仮面ライダーヒーローっていうものが画面に現れると思ってますんで、ぜひお楽しみください。
Please look forward
こ
to
の
it.
作品は割と革新と原点を併せ持つような作品だと思います。なので、どの世代にも届く作品ができていると思います。なんで
So they're
一番
definitely
まず見てほしいです。
mixing it. They're definitely
皆さんに届け
mixing.
る
Like they said,
ため
all
に一生懸
generations
命
can
作ったん
enjoy
で
this. So
どう
there's
ぞご覧
something
くだ
from
さい。
every
お楽しみに。
generation of Kamen Rider for everyone.
アーティストの方からもコメントが届いてお
So
ります
that
ので
that's
ご覧
the
ください。
that's what they're going with.
どうもナクトベイントータルプロデューサーの沢野博之です。今回の楽曲ビジョンズはですね、制作する中で特に意識したのは
The man Sawano, we listened to Knock Vein last week, and like that theme slaps. My only question is how the ending just kind of trails off of that song for the TV size. But I'm sure the intro will make up for it.
春風です。超選手に追い風を吹かせるというコンセプトを掲げて活動しています。今回私たちが仮面ライダー Z の
That's actually an interesting name though, Knocked Vein. How'd they come up
あ
with
りがと
that?
うございます。めちゃくちゃ嬉しい。もう本当にこのニュースを聞いたときに2人ともって言って驚いたのと、もう本当に心から嬉しかったんですけ
But
ど。
like Sawano
こう
is
いう
like
歴
the
史のある
fucking themed goat.
仮
I
面
think
ライ
he's
ダー
done like a few
世
good
界に
ones, like
ナ
a
クト
few
メイ
really
ンが
good
音
ones.
楽でこう名を
Off the top of my head, I can't think of his
すごく
discography, but
光栄なこと
I
思っております。あり
feel
がとう
like
ご
if
ざ
I
います。
heard a Sawano theme, I would recognize it
ぜひね
immediately. You know? The theme of dreams.
夢って全世界共通でしかも年齢も関係なく
Dreams are something
いろんな人に
universal.
刺さる、作品になるのかなと思っ
Thinking
た
about
の
it
で
like that,
もう
yeah,
ほんまに世
yeah.
界
I
に
mean,
なって
you
戦うん
can't
や
go
な
wrong
っていう
with like
ふ
a
うにさっき
universal
聞い
idea
て
for like
改
a
めて
now
責任
worldwide
となんか
franchise.
それに
you
携
know?
われてることに感謝の気持ちでいっぱいです。
Reading the script.
退場しないかなっていう
Okay, that, you know what?
ここら辺にちょっとあって毎回ちょっと
I don't know if that's a real concern with the Takahashi one. With the Yuya Takahashi series, I don't know if that's a real concern. Did anyone die in Geats? I don't remember if anyone died in Geats. I haven't seen the whole thing though, so I don't know.
原点って聞くとゼの変身した姿のが1号とかの昔のその姿に似てるなと思って懐かしさとかあとはこのスタイリッシュな感じが小さい子から大人の方まで愛してもらえるようなビジュアルだなと思ったのと、まあ、それに負けないぐらい中身もたくさんみんなで頑張ってきているので楽しみに
God, I'm so excited for
楽しみ
this,
にし
man.
て
You
ほしい
have
な
no
と
idea.
思います。
No idea. Okay, this is for us, for the overseas fans.
僕は、海外に11年住んでたんですけども、その時も仮面ライダーが好きだという
Met
方
so
々
many
たくさ
people.
ん
Yep,
お会いして
we
ま
love
して、
Kamen Rider here.
で
We
す
love
ので
him.
そういった方々にですね、日本のみならず、世界中の方々にこの作品を楽しんでいただけたらすごく嬉しいです。
Not only in Japan, but all around. Yeah, baby. Hell yeah.
私は妹なのでお兄ちゃんとのシーンがやっぱり多いんですけど、その兄弟だからこそ言えることとか
Okay, no, he was
行動とか
already wearing the
が
eyes.
ちょっ
The
と
first shot of
ポ
him
テって
just
笑え
didn't
るよ
get
うな
the.
シーン
He
も
already had the
多いの
context
か
in.
な
The
と思う
first
の
shot
で
just didn't do it
そこに
justice.
はぜひ注目してほしいなと思います。
視聴者の皆さんに寄り添うキャラクターだと思ってまして、ナスカと同じような気持ちで見れる場面がたくさんあると思うので、そこ
So
に
yeah,
注
like
目し
they
て
have
もらいたいの
two
と、あとは
main
ちょ
female
っと具体
characters.
的
So I
に言え
believe
ないんです
one's
け
getting
ど、
the
キリ
writer twip
を
treatment, and
注
the
目して
other
ほ
one
しい
will
です。
remain
キ
as
リ
the comic relief, similar to what
ライ
Sachiko
ダーだ
was.
けに
いや
That's what I think.
どう いやどうですかね。
So I think Nem's getting the transformation, and then
そうですね。
Nasugo is
ただ
gonna
めちゃめ
be
ちゃ
just is gonna be the female comic
あ
relief.
やめときます。危ない危ない。
Because she gives me the vibes of the detective from Wizard. She gives me that vibe for some
初
reason.
日で
はい。
So she's definitely
She
never
did
getting a
that.
henshin. Nem's getting a henshin. I think she's gonna be our female writer for this
初
series.
日
I
で
think.
やっちゃって、は
I'm calling my shot now, so
その
if
人
I'm
の
proven
夢の
wrong
世界観に
later,
合わせて衣装とヘアメイク
you know,
が
it is what it is. But
変わ
I'm
る
but
の
I'm
で
con-
そこ
I
が
feel
結構ポイ
fairly
ントかな
confident
と
Nem's
思っ
gonna
てい
become a
ます。
writer. Fairly
演じる
confident.
のが難しかったとこ
They
ろ
did an interview with her, and I
という
read
の
this.
は
She's actually was kind of
毎回
hoping
結構
she'd henshin
靴が
from the first episode.
高いので
So that tells me she's
ちょっと
going to
それ
be a
が
writer at some point.
結構走る歩くに苦戦して演じています。
じゃあ普段はあまりヒールとかは履かれない感じですか？
あ、プライベートですか、
はい
プライベートは結構スニーカーとかが多いんですけど、結構ネムの役は高い靴が多いので、そこが走ったり
Oh
歩いたりすると
God!
ちょっと
Imagine a
たまに
female
土
Kamen
に
Rider
埋まっ
with
ちゃっ
high
たり
heel
するので
boots. That
そこが
can you imagine like the boots have heels built into them? That would be weird. I can't imagine that. Like it would
やっ
hurt
ぱり両親
for
ですよ
kicking
ね
purposes,
両親
but like
のかっこい
walking
い
would be
姿
hell on the suit
温
actor.
かい姿そんな大人になれればなって思ってます。
もしよかったら今カメラに向かってご両親にメッセージを一言。せっかくなんでね皆様。
Putting the man on blast. What are you
いつもあ
doing?
りがとうございます。僕もそんな素敵な大人になれるように頑張ります。これからも応援よろしくお願いします。
Man talking like a
小さい
Kamen
頃
Rider hero
仮面
even
ライダーダ
before
ブル
he
を見
fully
て
assumes
育
the
って
role.
きたので仮面ライダーダブルに憧れであったり
Okay, he's
夢
taking
を
double
もらってい
inspiration.
たの
Okay,
で
that's
僕も
awesome.
皆様にとってそんなヒーローな存在になれたらなって
Well,
思っ
look
て
at
ま
the
す。
suit. Look at the
仮
fucking
面ライダー
suit,
Z
man.
を見てくださる方々に僕たちの一人一人の伝えたい思いだったり楽しさ幸せを届けられるような作品をこれ
I
から
find
も
it interesting
作っ
they
てい
gave
こう
him
と
the
思ってま
belt
す。
for the press conference and
9
didn't
月
put the orb in
スタ
there.
ート
I
の
don't know why.
仮
It
面
just
ライダー
feels
Z
weird without it in
ぜ
there.
ひ楽しみにしていてください。今日は本当にありがとうございました。
Okay, let me go back. Let me go back and look at the suit right quick. Hold on. What? Let me pull back to the frame. Whoa.
ヒーローな存
Look at the fucking. That is fresh, man. Look at that shit. That shit fresh. Look at that. And here's the thing. I thought it would be green in the back. Okay, the back of his helmet is red. Maybe that's a reflection from the lights, but yeah, that's. I don't know how to feel about that. It kind of makes it look like he's wearing a hoodie. I think maybe it's just a reflection of the lights and maybe this part is black. But if it's red, it kind of gives off like he's wearing a hoodie. You know? Like it gives that vibe to me. But like, dude, that suit, like looking at it, it's so minimalist that I don't hate it. Like, here's the thing. I'm not a fan of minimalist stuff, but like in the sense they kind of like made it work for this. Like it's literally just a full body suit. The freaking green part is printed onto the suit, but like it works somehow. Like I don't know. It's just looking at the suit now in regular lighting, like I see the vision. I see the vision. So like, yeah. No, I'm psyched for this. I'm psyched for this. Now, that being said, we kind of need to take a look at the other announcement they made for our global fan, for the global fan. So let's go ahead and pull that up.
成功する。ハロー X 世界中のファンの皆さん、こんにちは。
いつも応援ありがとうございます。
皆さんのおかげで作品が世界中に広がっています。
あなたの国でも私たちの作品を楽しんでください。
これからも応援よろしくお願いします。ミッションを遂行する。
Mezamero. Love it. Love it.
ハロー X
Okay, let's mute that. Okay, so here's the big one. Here is the big one. Teasing news. Kamen Rider fans. I love how they themselves misspelled Zets. I find that fucking hilarious. But anyway, I digress. I digress. So the big announcement. The big announcement. Kamen Rider Zets will air on YouTube, which, if you guys remember, I said this would probably be the smartest course of action. They're going the Subaraya route. Subaraya always airs new episodes of Ultraman every Friday. simulcast with Japan, that's normally how they do it. Now, they're doing it, but tongue twisted. An interesting wrinkle to this is that they're doing it through Tokushoutsu, which I think is an interesting play. I mean, they already. I should have honestly considered that as an option, which I think I did. I could be wrong. I don't remember mentioning it as much, but I might have acknowledged that. But they already had the outstanding deal with Tokushoutsu, so they're instead of putting in new infrastructure for streaming, without putting their own resources, they're handing the simulcast responsibilities to Tokushoutsu. So our boys over at Shout Studios are the ones that are taking over this. So every Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, which is 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central, live on YouTube on the Tokushoutsu YouTube page, we're getting the live stream of Kamen Rider Zets. Now, in terms of this show, because we normally watch the episodes live, right? We normally watch the episodes live on stream. That's what we do here on the show. We watch them live, we react, we have discussions in the chat as the show is going on and after. I don't know what we're going to do for the show. I don't want to move the show to Saturdays because again, the situation with Gozyuger is kind of weird. Because again, it's only Kamen Rider getting expanded into the States. Super Sentai's not getting that same treatment because right now, as far as I know, the situation between Hasbro and Toei is still kind of weird. There's no full confirmation on that situation. So you can't really simulcast Gozyuger live to the US because of Power Rangers, right? Like obviously Power Rangers they're not even up to King Oger with Power Rangers. Power Rangers is off going to do its own thing with freaking Zoo Ranger again. So, I mean, by that logic, you would think that, okay, maybe they finally cut ties, but I feel like that situation is still kind of weird, right? Like, I feel like that particular situation with, um, Hasbro and Toei is still kind of weird. So, and obviously they're mid-season. Gozyuger is mid-season, so even if they were planning a U.S. expansion of Super Sentai, that's not happening with Gozyuger. Like Gozyuger is still like a little over halfway through, so we'll have to wait for the next season of Super Sentai for any of that to remotely happen. And even then, I don't know. I genuinely do not know. But it kind of puts this show that we're doing right now here on Twitch, the superhero Zatsudan, it raises doubts. I don't think the show, at least for until the current run of Gozyuger, or further if the next generation of Super Sentai expands further out, I don't know if the show can currently exist in its current form. I don't know what this means for the show. We're gonna feel it out. And we're gonna see where we are with that. Push comes to shove, we may just make the show an hour long and just do two versions of it on Saturdays and Mondays for Gozyuger. Which honestly, I'm not a big fan of the idea of doing 1 hour streams. Usually, I think 2 hour streams is like the sweet spot. I'm not a fan of doing anything less than 2 hours. I'm not a fan unless like I absolutely have to. But like I feel like that's the situation. I don't really like the idea of splitting the show to do Kamen Rider Zets and then doing Gozyuger on another day. I don't like the idea, but it may need to be what we have to do. Because here's the thing. The reason why I say it like this is because if you look at the airing schedule, there was a graphic. The graphic's not here, but it airs live on Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, and then it'll replay on Sunday and then replay the following Friday before the new episode. So it kind of puts us in this weird thing, especially because again, I've been a huge advocate of pushing for everyone to support the official release. And not only have we made it, they've made it so that everyone can support the official release just by watching the show on YouTube. No money involved. You just watch the show on the Tokushoutsu YouTube. But the problem they did is that you can only watch the live stream. They're not archiving it. They said there will be replays, but again, those replays will be specifically on Sunday and Friday. You can't. I don't remember if Ultraman you can still watch the Ultraman you can still watch the episode after the fact. Toei is banking on only getting a live audience because when you think about it, Kamen Rider is mainly meant to be enjoyed in its TV time slot in Japan. Not a lot of people. I don't know if they like TV Asahi has like a VOD or like a streaming service where you can watch the episode later. But for the most part, when Kamen Rider is delivered to the masses, it's delivered via television. And obviously they don't normally replay an episode of that aired, right? I don't know the schedule for maybe they have a day where they like play the episode again. Maybe, I don't know. But for the most part, they're expecting live viewership for the show, right? They're expecting live viewership and the time slot. So they're still treating this like this is TV, but they're doing it on streaming. Because let's be real, if Kamen Rider Zets was put on a TV channel, it would probably be some obscure channel you've never heard of, and no one would watch it. So this is them playing it super safe. This is them playing it super safe for Zets. So they want to make sure that they got eyes. They want to make sure they got eyes. So they decided to go the YouTube route, but they're still treating it like a television broadcast. So you can only watch the show in its live time slot and then on the replays. There was a lot of outcry for the fact that you could not replay the episode when you wanted, right? Like there's no VOD for it. There's no DVR, as I call it on YouTube. There's no archive. So it's understandable. It's understandable that the community is up in arms about this. Me personally, I feel like, people are gonna people, right? And you'll probably be able to find it somewhere, just as long as, don't talk about Fight Club and whatnot. But to me, though, I feel like not having the episode archived is a huge miss. I get what they're going for. They'd rather have be able to gauge the live audience, but a lot of people aren't able to watch the episode live. People have jobs. People have work. People have school. Well, it's technically a Friday. Technically, it's Friday. So if the younger audience is watching, they probably don't have school tomorrow. And that's perfectly fine. But adults still got to work. And obviously, this is kind of who you want to cater to, the adult audience, because they got the buying power. So having it at a time where people can't watch, where some people can't watch it, I get it. Like me personally, for this show, I'll be able to watch it live. And so that kind of puts me in a weird position, because here's the thing, we already stream on Saturdays. So I feel like I can get away with doing an hour-long stream after the fact, because y'all know I do ARM on Saturdays. So that means I can definitely just do an hour stream. Massive blunder from Toei. I wouldn't say it is, but it's definitely a huge inconvenience. I will say that. I wouldn't say it's a massive blunder. It is a massive inconvenience. Because again, a lot of us are still going to be able to watch the show. And kind of looking from Toei's perspective, they want to gauge live viewership. Because when a big anime comes out, like on Crunchyroll, right? What's the big thing? Simulcast audience. That's the pull. That's the numbers they're looking for. They want to be able to see that they have the pull for people to watch this live, because they want Kamen Rider to be an event. And I agree with that logic. I just don't agree with the fact of the not having the archive, right? Because for people like us who review the show, right? Being able to scroll down the bar and be able to pick apart, things like that. That's like what reviewers do. That's what live reactors like me do. Not giving us that yeah, mass like that's a huge inconvenience. And again, I saw this on a TikTok video of someone talking about this. Why would you do this for the working class? Because like some of us got jobs, man. You know, we got jobs. So the replay times are weird. The replay times are super weird. And on top of that, again, not having an archive, weird. I get their logic, but I feel like the logic is still flawed. Right? It's still flawed. Regardless, though, we've been given something. And regardless of the inconveniences, we still got to show out in droves, right? Despite the fact that it won't be archived and you'll only be able to watch it at certain times, we still got to show out. Because here's the thing, if we don't show out, they will deem this a failure and never cater to us again. We can't risk that. We cannot. Okay? Begrudgingly, like, I don't agree with a lot of the decisions they've made, but even then, the decisions they have made, we still got to go in. We got to lock in. We got to get in there. Because ultimately, whether Kamen Rider fully comes to the States, like stays full-time in the States, depends on us showing out. And here's the thing. The way I think about it, and this is me being optimistic here. I will be absolutely 100% with y'all. I'm being fully optimistic about this because I want this to succeed. If we show out and we show them we want this, the archives could come later. Again, this is me being optimistic. They might just they might actually misread this and think, oh, they're watching the lives. We can just keep doing the lives. We don't need to give them archives. They could misread that and think that's what it is. But regardless of what it is, we got to show out. We got to give them the numbers. Because if we don't give them the numbers, they will deem the expansion a failure. And I say that 100%, 1,000% with my whole chest. I do not want this to fail. I want to see this thrive. I want to see this succeed, man. I want to see Kamen Rider Zets be the catalyst for Kamen Rider to fully air in the US. I want to be able to watch this shit. You know what? If it works, hell, maybe they might even give us the archives on Prime Video. Because they work with Prime a lot. So I can see them giving us the whole dang series. Hell, maybe when Zets ends, they give us the whole damn series on Prime Video. Maybe. That's me speculating. But again, it needs to work. We got to show out. So I'm going to be there live. The next couple of days, I'm working on the Discord. I will be announcing the Discord on Thursday during Fallout London. I'm going to be working on the Discord. We're going to get everything set up. We're going to have an event stage. We'll be watching it live. If you're in the Discord, you'll be able to see the footage. I mean, you'll be able to see it on YouTube. So I don't really have to do an event stage for that. But by all means, we need to show out for this. So like I will have the Discord set up. We'll have discussions. We'll have all this stuff. I will get this done. Because I want to make sure that we as a community come together and support this. Right? I want to be 100 with y'all. I'll probably show it in the Discord, in the event stage, but I would want people that are in the Discord watching it to still pull it up on their screen to give them the numbers. Because to me, this is important, right? Because here's the thing, a lot of people are coming around. A lot of people are coming around, and I've seen this. Like, you ever go through just TikTok on a random day, and you see a lot of people who are understanding that what we were given for Super Sentai doesn't and what Super Sentai actually is like two different things. And they're waking up and they're becoming Super Sentai fans and like seeing that. Like people want to see what it is that they're doing over there. They no longer want to see like, here's the thing: a lot of people still have nostalgia for Power Rangers, and more power to them. Like, I'm not here to shit on the Power Rangers fans, but people are waking up to Super Sentai and seeing that happen in real time. That tells me people are craving the source material, and on top of that, people are craving everything they're given that Japan is given. They're craving that. So to see people finding Super Sentai, finding Kamen Rider for the first time, and this goes back to Takahashi being the writer for this. A lot of people found Kamen Rider in the U.S. found it because of Geats. Like, Geats storytelling transcended Japanese borders. So to get the man who did that for Zets, like, they have a lot of faith in this. Toei has a lot of faith in this American expansion. And we gotta show out to show them that their faith is not misfounded. So, for what it's worth for me, I'm watching the debut at live. If you're not able to watch the debut, that's understandable. You know, you have your life. Life comes first. That's all it means. But if you are available, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 Eastern, if you are available, if you're sitting at home, open the damn Tokusatsu YouTube channel. Matter of fact, if you're watching this right now and you haven't subbed to the Tokusatsu YouTube channel, get your ass over there and sub, because they're going to set out the notification. We need to be ready. This is a call to action to all my soldiers of Henshin Corps. We need to be ready. We need to be ready. Oh, and also one more thing I wanted to point out right here. This stream is going to be available in the USA, Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand. This is not just a US expansion. This is an English expansion. They're expanding to all English-speaking countries. This is a bigger deal than what we thought it would be. They originally said, oh no, just US and Canada. No, every English-speaking country is getting this. And even then, not just the English-speaking. Guess what else is here? Latin America via the Tokusato YouTube channel. They're getting it in Spanish. This is bigger than we originally thought. This is bigger and better than what we originally thought. Again, misgivings aside with the not having the archives or anything. This is it, guys. This is the big time. This is what we've been watching Kamen Rider for years. We've been given a chance. They're throwing us a bone here. If you live in any of those countries, if you live in the US, if you live in Canada, if you live in UK, Australia, New Zealand, in the MENA region, if you live in Latin America, if you live in China, Hong Kong, Vietnam, South Korea, Thailand, and Taiwan, we all got to come together, baby. This is our time. It's time for us to step the fuck up. I am willing to fight for this. My question is, to you, the viewer, if you're watching this on the VOD, if you're in my chat watching live, to my soldiers of Henshin Corps, my question is, are you ready to fight? This is our time. And let's do this. So yeah, that is it, man. They finally dropped the announcement news. So this Saturday, 7:30, expect a live stream. Normally I'll stream in the morning and then, like, call it a day. You're getting 2 streams out of me on Saturday. Granted, the second one will probably just be, well, we'll probably start the stream about maybe, well, it says 7:30. We'll start it at 7. Right? So it'll probably be a little over an hour, so okay, I don't feel too bad about it. But, you're getting 2 soon. You're getting my Arma stream in the morning, and then you're getting the Zets live watch in the afternoon. Well, technically be 9:30. Yeah, that'd be pretty late now that I think about it. It's going to be like 9:30 my time. So it'll start at 9. Well, just Eastern. We'll say Eastern just to make it easier. The stream will start at 10 Eastern. And then obviously a little waiting room, and then we go straight into the thing at 10:30 when it starts. I am beyond excited for this. I might actually show the video. I think I can get away with it because it's on YouTube, so I might show the video on stream here on Twitch. Though maybe for safety, I might not publish the VOD. We'll have to see what the VOD does because I don't know if it being on YouTube gives us a pass. I genuinely don't know. But this is, for all intents and purposes, this is the big one. This is the big one. I hope you guys will join me this Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern. Hope you guys will join me for the live react. It's going to be a very special edition of the Zatsudan. And then Monday we'll just do an episode. We'll just do a Gozuger based episode. I'm pretty sure I can fill an hour with ranting. It's weird. I'm ranting about a show that I like. I like Gozuger, and yet I still am mad. I'm mad at it, but I like it. So it's weird. I don't know. It's a weird dichotomy that I don't understand. I don't even know if I'm using the word dichotomy correctly, but it's just this weird imbalance that I don't understand. I hate the show, but I love it. It's a love-hate relationship with Gozuger. Yeah. I don't. You might be able to get an hour of a stream from me just from me ranting, but it comes from a place of love. But regardless, so yeah, it's about that time, guys. It's about that time. Here's what we're gonna do because we are getting close to the hour mark. We're gonna hit the old ad break, and when we come back, we're gonna get right into the last episode of Gavv. We're gonna do the retrospective. And then once we do all of that, give that all the rating. If we got time, we'll hit Gozuger. If not, we'll go into another ad break and then come back with more Gozuger. So let's go ahead and get that preemptive. I will see you guys in about 5 minutes. Make sure you pull up Gavv, the last episode, which is Gavv episode 50. Make sure you pull that up on your favorite streaming service or favorite place to get the episode. I will be right back in about 5 minutes with the old live react. So let's go ahead and just jump over here. Hi. All right. We will be right back in about 5 minutes. Stay here. We're not going nowhere. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. So we're gonna not waste any time. Oh wait. Oh wait. Hold on. I just ran over my headphones. Hold on. There you go. All right. We're not gonna waste any time, folks. So I'm hoping you already have the final episode of Gavv cleared up. Welcome to the retrospective hour. So here's what's gonna happen. Quick explanation of how this works for newer viewers here, or if you're just watching the VOD for the first time. The way this works is we watch the episode, we do like a live react thing where we kind of live react in real time. Obviously, I can't show the footage on stream because copyright, but we will be watching the stream live. If you're here live, you can hear the audio of the show, but it doesn't show up in the VOD. So if you're listening to it in the VOD, you won't hear anything, so you'll need to provide your own footage. But the way it works is we watch the show, and normally what we'll do a quick breakdown of the episode and then give it a rating. We're still going to do that, but immediately after, we're going to take a look back at the full story. We're going to take a look back at the full story, do a retrospective on the entirety of Gavv, and then after that, we'll give the overall series a rating. Because I feel like that is only the proper way to send off what has been, in my view, a very experimental but very satisfying watch for Kamen Rider Gavv. Okay, I don't want to give it my opinion too soon, right? I don't want to give it my opinion too soon, but I think it's at least as far as we've seen so far, it's been a pretty interesting watch. And when I say interesting, I don't mean that in kind of a dismissive way. Like it's generally been interesting to see all the turns and whatnot. But regardless, we're gonna go ahead and see how they wrap a little bow on this one, and then we're going to give the series an overall rating after the viewing. So make sure you have your video set to 0. Make sure it's set to the beginning, and you have it paused or anything you need to do. But we'll start at 0. As always, I will count us down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then from there, you hit, when I say go, we hit play, and we watch together. That's how it works. This is the Superhero Zatsudan way. So let's get into it. The final episode of Kamen Rider Gavv in 5, 4, 3, 2. Whoa! Hold on. Hold on. That fucked with me a little bit. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Our recap. No, I don't think there's going to be an intro theme. Usually final episodes don't have them. Challenging lingo right now. What was a blessed family. Yep. Lango killed him. He found common ground. Oh no. Oh, Jesus. No brotherly love here. Throw the fists. There it is. Never. Unfortunately, the theme song is now gone. That was the last episode. Never has the theme song. That's sad. It's sad, but you know, really should have celebrated the theme song last week a little more. But you know, it is what it is. Finally, let's put a kibosh on Jeeve, shall we? Wait. Oh shit! I can't. I don't. What is your angle, bitch? Your angle is bizarre to me. Man just said, fuck it. Fuck it. Let me convince y'all to go back. Well, no. Chain of violence continues. Okay, okay. Lizelle's form is giving me Kivara vibes, and I'm not sure I like it. I'm getting Kivara vibes from Lizelle, and I'm not sure I like it. I'm not sure I like it. Fuck all your doors. Fuck your doors. Fuck them doors. Wait, who attacks him then? There's no one left, I think. Because if Lizelle and Jeeb are there, and Lango's right now facing Gavv, who the fuck? Who stops him? Who stops freaking? Who stops Lakian? Who stops him? Nobody. Well, okay, that's badass. Just fucking let me grind the handle against the concrete. Winner! Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Let's go. Oh, we're getting full use out of the minions today. This is truly the final battle. All the forms are here. Oh, God. Oh, this is where all the budget went. This is where all the budget went. Oh, my God. Roller coaster segment. You're providing the ass pull for the end of the episode, aren't you? I feel like you're providing the. You know what? They never did the melon one. I just realized the melon power up never, like the sweet melon candy power up, never presented itself. I just realized that. The melon power up. There was supposed to be. I just remembered. There was a melon power up that was teased and never revealed. I think that's the end point here. You're providing the MacGuffin, aren't you? That's what I feel like. I feel like he's got the power up. Oh, throwback. We hadn't touched on the fact that the armor disintegrates. God damn, this battle rules. Oh, one wing. Oh, one-winged angel. It's fucking Sephiroth. Someone's got the MacGuffin. Who's got the MacGuffin? No, don't kill him off. Oh, he probably. You know what? It's so vague. He probably ends up going to the real world. It's so vague. Of course, all the budget would go to the Shoma fight, and yet we get regular. We get this like regular battle here for freaking Hanto. Headbutts, suplex. Oh my god, that was amazing. Frozen. Punching bags. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Punch him. Punch him harder. Come on. I need that banjo energy. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, that fucking rules. This meeting of the minds. And that ties up the G bend. Later, Jeeb. You know what? I couldn't ask for a better bow on that one. Couldn't ask for a better bow on that one. Now can we put the pretty princess to rest, please? Put her in the dirt. And Hanto just leaves. So yeah, I feel like they're setting up Lizelle for the movie. They're setting up Lizelle for the movie. The definite like crossover movie with Zets. She's definitely like being set up for that. This fight went into the night. What the fuck? They're still fighting? Humanity rallying speech. Let's go. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Throwing it back to the first question. Wrong answer. Wrong answer, fuckhead. The goat. The goat. One kick. That's all it took, baby. He just evaporated into feathers. That is arguably the most badass moment this series has ever had. And it's had its fair share of badass moments. That fucking ruled. All he needed was one. And some cupcakes. Celebratory cupcakes. There's your theme, baby. Everything is back to normal, man. So you're still making new power-ups, but we're never gonna see them. Okay, the big question. Lakian, what happened? And he's off to work. He's becoming a baker. That's an interesting thought. There's the Zell. You know what's funny? They never did a pun on rock candy. I feel like the amazing gummy would have worked better if they used rock candy. But yeah, they are definitely setting Lizelle up for the movie, for the crossover movie. Why did they leave him? Oh no, he's fine. Okay, so he's just chilling now. He's just chilling. Because I remember I said like people would get mad if they killed him off. Yeah. No, they did. They good thing they didn't do it. Okay, are you finally gonna reveal that? Reveal it? Or you already did? Okay, fair. Aw. Aw. Yeah, a feel good ending. It's a feel good ending. Though I am. Wait. 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 You're not. There it is! There it is! Wait, what the fuck? Why did he get electrocuted? What the fuck? That is not our guy. Is it? No, is that our guy? No, that's not our guy. Is it? I'm looking at him. He doesn't look like Ryutaro. That is a weird way to tie that in. Wait, that was Nogami? No way, that was Nogami. I didn't recognize him. Jeez, it's been so long since Deno. Are you serious? Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough. I thought it was actually the guy. You kind of confused me there. But like that's not Imai. That's not Ryotaro Imai. I thought it was our guy Baku, but like I looked at him like no, no, he's too disheveled for that. That was just a maybe it was a throwback to the movie. I think there was a character like that in the movie. That just feels weird. I don't know. That was a weird. That was weird. Also, that was probably the most dialed down crossover in a final episode I think they've ever done. They just showed the Zets as a candy. They didn't show him. That's weird. I don't. Maybe I'm misthinking this. I don't know. But anyway, that was the final episode, and you know what? I gotta give that episode. I don't want to say a 10, a 9. I'll give it a 9 because like I feel like that was the most exciting you could have for a last episode. How we would have seen him in the dream world. Ah, fair, fair, fair. Wait, are we implying that Gavv was a dream the entire time? Is that what we're implying? Is that what they're implying? Gavv was a dream? That's deep. Anyway, so in terms of this episode, I slapped that on a 9 because it's what you want out of a last episode. It's full of action. It's all the fights. We tied up all the loose ends. No one, at least no one on the good guy's side died, and that's all you can ask for. I will admit it felt kind of subdued, if that makes any sense. Like normally there's a MacGuffin, right? But I think they blew that MacGuffin up 2 episodes ago. The Amazing Gummy. I would expected that to have been something here, but no. Instead, it was just one well-timed regular transformation and a well-timed rider kick that did Lango in. So I feel like that. I don't want to say it was rushed, but it definitely feels like you could have done a little more with that. So I had to dock points for that. Oh, he looks and acts cool in his dream. Oh, okay. That tracks. That tracks. That actually does track. I thought he would just be badass out the gate, like we had a Hidari Shotaro situation, Shotaro Hidari situation, because he did say he was inspired by Double, but like, so yeah, like I thought he would just be a badass out the gate. No, in the dream world, he's a badass. Okay, that tracks. That tracks. Regardless, though, like I feel like while the last battle was really good, it felt subdued, right? Because it just felt like, okay, regular transformation and then why is my wrist freaking out? Uh Regular transformation and then go in for the kill because like somehow it'll be super powered up. No, he just was able to do that. So I feel like that docked a few points. But it was still you get a 9. You got a 9, which is the highest rating I've given anything since I've started doing the Satsudan. But I think now we need to look back on the story as a whole, right? Like looking back from the start, I think when I went into Gavv, I expected something weird. I expected something jokey. I expected this to be very kid centric, right? Because you see Candy, and usually when you see brightly colored writers, right? I went into this thinking, oh, we're having another Deno situation, right? Like, to me, this felt like this was going to be another Deno situation. But and it was that actually. It was that for maybe like the first few episodes, right? Because there was like their cheese moments and like those cringe moments you couldn't like look away that you had to look away from because it just hurt the soul, and it had those. But then like maybe around episode 10 or something, once we started, it was around 10. Around then we started truly delving into how dark this series could get. We started looking at strife. We started looking at heartbreak, the monarchy, and how it everything, like how everything was tearing apart. We saw that there was rampant speculation once we were 10 episodes in that that Shoma would be the one that killed Hanto's mother. Like that was the running speculation at that time. Thankfully that wasn't the case, but Gavv saw Hanto's mother die. And it really started throwing a wrench into everything we knew, right? It started throwing a wrench into everything. We then started seeing who Suga really was as a person and what he was doing, the introduction of the Dark Shoma clones, the introduction of Lakien to everything while he was just another part-timer, but he was one that Shoma ultimately convinced to come to the good side, right? And I think his general progression to coming to the good side I think was well executed. I think it was really well executed, all things considered. Um, but also still there being doubt because Hanto was finding more things out about Shoma that Shoma didn't want to come out because he was afraid of those things happening. They ended up happening anyway. So it became this whole thing with the Stomach family still looming and then Suga being like, again, another aspect to the story. The byline was never lost, but Suga was starting to become another threat to Shoma's existence here in the human world, but unbeknownst to him, and this is a lot of things that, like, if anything, I feel like the story touched a lot on anxiety and depression, which Shoma had in spades, because ultimately his fears were fears that he imposed on himself. Because at every turn, Sachika had his back. Sachika believed in him. Sachika believed in the good man that Shoma is. He was never evil. He thought as a Granute, being half Granute, he was preconditioned to be a monster. But the reality is, Shachika saw who the real Shoma was, and to a later point, she even saw who the true Lakien was. Sachika was the voice of reason. I still think it's a miscarriage of justice she didn't become a writer herself. But I think in her not being a writer, she ended up being more than just the female comic relief. She ended up being the voice of reason because her herself was dealing with her own traumas. And while we don't really touch on those traumas a lot during the series, it was touched on in the moment that it mattered because she herself was dealing with things, but she knew that she needed to be the rock for Shoma. She needed to be the rock for Hunter, for Lakin. She was the grounded one. She realized she needed to be there for them. And she realized that they needed to hear things. Things needed to be said. They needed to be encouraged, but also truths needed to be said. And like that I feel like was a more important role for her to have than any writer armor the show could have given her. I have my reservations. I feel like at the very least, if they were going to give her a writer armor, Suga should have already fully perfected that gun. Unfortunately, it was having adverse effects on him, and when I saw that, I knew there was no hope for. I mean, I was still optimistic, but there was really no hope for her becoming a writer because once you killed off the one person that could have made the belt for her, that was a wrap. But if anything, she played a more important role, and that was the voice of reason. And yeah, to me, I think that was possibly the most important role she could have had in this show. But I think there were a lot of things that I think were drawn on a little too long, right? I will admit, like, I'm glad that they finally put a bow on the Jeeb stuff, but man, that byline should have ended earlier. If I'm being perfectly honest, that byline should have ended at an earlier point because I feel like it dragged out just a little too long. Ultimately, I get it. Like, I see what they were going for, and I'm not mad at it. But I feel like Lizelle's involvement so late in the game was weird. she was like a very important evil character for the evil side. Yet she didn't really do much, which I want to believe is the lead into the movie, to the crossover with Zets, the eventual Gavv Zets movie. I believe that's the tie-in. But I have my reservations for her getting her showing her monster form and everything this late in the game. I have my reservations about it. Thankfully, though, like I feel like you couldn't have tied the bow on that very better, and I want to believe that they are setting her up for the future movie, as I said. But I think overall, like just seeing the story unveil, Hanto finally trusting Shoma again, and then finding out about his mother and everything that went down, because I feel like that was an important thing for Hanto to discover. You know, because I feel like Gavv already knowing, it wouldn't be like he would reveal to us any information. So Hanto fulfilled a role not only of a secondary writer, but kind of our conduit, because we're finding out the story behind Shoma with him. So he played a very important story point there. So for me, like him finding out everything and finally becoming sympathetic to the plight of Shoma and ultimately Lakien as well, like him being an investigator, like it all came together. It all came together, and I think ultimately it panned out, right? It all panned out in the end, and I think at the end of the day, the story beats hit where they needed to hit. We tied up Komel's thing very interesting with Glotta, though I do believe Jeeb holding on to Glotta's scythe and not doing anything with it was kind of a missed opportunity. But I digress. It's not a big thing, but I feel like kind of throwing it back would have been interesting. And the way they tied up Nielv was a man who knew he couldn't do anything and yet still tried, right? But I feel like at the end of the day, it was all misgivings, right? I still kind of feel bad. They still feel like they did Nielv dirty, but it made sense for Zeldak to do that, right? It made sense for him to do that. He's a fucking politician. When do you think you think he wouldn't have that kind of shit in the chamber? Like, so to me, it was like Nielv. I mean, obviously Zeldak sabotaged it, but to me, it also was very much Nielv being hoisted on his own petard. He got overconfident. And ultimately, not looking in to see if his equipment had been tampered with was the final nail in the coffin. So, to me, it was kind of like a poetic justice. But whether or not he was actually remorseful at the end, I don't know. He was definitely playing the field. He was definitely playing the field. So whether or not his intent was true at the end, it was still very much a character who was playing the field, who didn't commit and ultimately paid the ultimate price for it. But I think just everything that went down, Gavv, in and of itself, and obviously we saw the final battle with Lengo, and again, they pulled out the MacGuffin a little bit too early to deal with Zeldak, but I think in essence it made sense because he was super OP. Lengo not so much because he was defeated before. But regardless, looking at it overall, at the story, it was simply came down to I have grievances, but overall don't affect the general rating of the show. Like, for example, I feel like the dark treats could have been used to unlock Gav's more powerful form, as they have done with previous writers, as opposed to going the dark clone route. But the dark clone route was something different. It was definitely different because I don't think we'd ever seen it done in Writer before. So having an army of dark Shomas was definitely an interesting twist. So I'm not mad at it. Do I prefer one or the other? No. But I feel like, the dark treats were there as a looming presence. It would have been interesting to see if Gavv was if Shoma was force fed one, and to see what would come from that. Because I feel like you could do the thing with Metal Rising Hopper, like they did in 0-1. I feel like you could have done that, right? But ultimately, they went a different direction with it, and I don't hate it. Ultimately, looking at the entire story, how it panned out and everything, and admittedly, I will state, as I said earlier, the ending felt a little rushed, not too much, a little bit. I'm going to throw, just like I threw a 9 on this episode, I'm going to throw a 9 on this series. Not my favorite series, not my favorite Kamen Rider iteration by far, but it's definitely up there. Like, I wouldn't put it in the same category as Decade and Drive, which are my two favorite ones, but it was definitely an easy watch. Definitely if you're unlike me and you actually have the gumption to rewatch a series, Gavv is worth a rewatch, I think. I would probably put, like, I'm not doing a tier list or nothing, but which honestly I really should have done a tier list. But if I had to put him on a tier list, I would put Gavv somewhere on the same lines as like a double, right? Like a double and a Geats, right? Like maybe that's a little bit too much, maybe a little under them. Like, I don't think Gavv should be anyone's first watch like a double or a Geats. But after you've watched like a couple of writers, definitely it would be the one. Like, you've already watched like maybe a couple of writer seasons, Gavv would be the one I would recommend as your third one, right? Because I feel like it's kind of like I said it before, it's experimental. Gavv was very much experimental, so it wouldn't be something I would subject a newer fan to, but I would definitely subject it to someone who's already dipped their toe in, right? Like, you've already watched 1 or 2 seasons. Gavv would be the third season you watch. Like, I would definitely put it on that regard. It's good, but I feel like if you want to get a newer person into Kamen Rider, Gavv is not it. You want to make sure they've already been exposed to some Kamen Rider first. Not a lot. You can get away with, like, as I said, 1 or 2 seasons, and there you go. And let them in. Definitely, I would definitely call Gavv the third series every new Rider fan needs to watch. Not the first or the second, the third. Because you need to understand how crazy Kamen Rider can get, which is why I always recommend for newer fans, you start with Double, and then recently I started recommending Geats as the second one. Though you can interchangeably watch Geats and Double, but Gavv definitely has to be the one you watch after those. Right? Because I feel like once you see how crazy Geats gets, and then and you get a general understanding of Kamen Rider through Double, then yeah, then Gavv is a walk in the park. Absolutely. So, looking back on Gavv, I will gladly give a 9 out of 10 to the series as a whole. Like, it stumbled at first, then it found its footing and just stuck the landing. So to me, this is one of the higher ranked Kamen Riders. So I will gladly slap a goddamn 9 out of 10 for Gavv overall as a whole. I might actually come back maybe next week just to fill time for the Gozuger episode, because we're just going to watch Gozuger. We might actually go back and do a tier list. That actually is a good idea. Let me write that down for next Monday's show. Next Monday's show, we're going to watch Gozuger, and then we're going to do a Kamen Rider tier list. Just so like I can like kind of like use that as a metric going forward. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the Kamen Rider tier list next Monday on top of the episode of Gozuger. I think that works. I think that works pretty good. So I can't think of a better way to send off Gavv than with a 9 out of 10. Thank you, Gavv, for 50 episodes of just pure awesome. I was on the fence about you when it started, but you ended strong, and you're midway. You told the story, you stuck to it, you kept to the byline, and you ended strong, albeit a bit rushed. You were awesome. I will state that Kamen Rider Gavv was fucking awesome, and I feel like, yeah, that is where we're gonna end that. We're gonna go ahead and preempt early our next 5-minute break. Well, it's 3 minutes, but I want to take a couple of minutes to like go get some water or something. But we will be back in 5 minutes to get to the down portion of the show. We're gonna go ahead and watch the next episode of Gozuger, which is 28. There was actually before we get into that though, apparently the suit actor for Kamen Rider for not Kamen Rider for Gozu Wolf retired on this episode of Kamen Rider of Gozuger episode 28. This was the Gozu Wolf suit actor's last tokusatsu suit actor role. I don't know what that means going forward. We'll have to see if like the mannerisms of Gozu Wolf change. The suit actor, by the way, not the main actor. The main actor's still around. I made the mistake of thinking that the main actor was that was the main actor that was going out, but then I realized it was the suit actor. No, the suit actor is retiring, but Tonoharu remains. So we're gonna have to see if like there's maybe little tweaks and changes in the way Gozu Wolf acts on episode 29. But today we're looking at episode 28. So make sure you guys have that episode loaded up. We're gonna take our 5-minute. We're gonna take a 3-minute ad break, and then when we come back, well, it'll be 3 minutes, but I'll be gone. I'll be taking an additional few minutes to like make myself a drink. But when we come back, we will be looking at episode 28 of Gozuger. So I hope you guys will stick around. We will be back in 5 minutes. Stay tuned. And we're back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from the ad break. I know normally it's once every hour, but I wanted to preempt it to make sure we at least get into Gozuger because we are riding into the 2 hour mark with the retrospective and everything. So we at least need to get Gozuger in. And I'll spare you the rant unless the episode merits it. After the fact, I'll just spare you with it. But yeah, if you guys don't remember last week, Bryden had Bokeh has amnesia, runs into Gozu Polar. Gozu Polar shows that he's trying to be a more responsible person, and how does he does that? Money. Meanwhile, the Gozuger pretty much Kirame Blue goes rogue and kidnaps the Gozugers, and apparently a new super form was created for Battle Fever J, which I don't know. I still don't know how to feel about that. But anyway, here we go. Episode 28 of number one Sentai Gozuger. Make sure you have it queued up. As you always, you know the deal. When I say go, you hit play, we sync. If you're watching live, you'll hear the audio from the episode but not see the episode. The audio from the episode will not be on the VOD, however. So just keep that in mind. All right, here we go. Episode 28 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Fire candle, baby. She's an actual AI. Definitely an AI generated being. I don't like Kirame Blue being evil. That's so fucking weird. That's super weird. Seeing Reikuo in her dreams. Meanwhile, the Gozugers. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. I feel like that's kind of an oversight that he could just remove that. Da-da-da. Ah, God, Tokusatsu themes are just so good. I swear. Jumbo L. A little cherry lemonade for your days. With a little bit of sweet tea in there. Oh. Ding. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I want to like this theme. I mean, okay. Let me rephrase it. I like this theme, but like, actually, I don't know what my complaint was. I like this theme. I don't know where I was going with that at all. I genuinely don't. I like this theme. Let's just put it like that. It's a good theme. I don't know what the grievance was. I forgot what the grievance was. Okay, that'll explain why it doesn't work on him. He has no dreams. Oh, okay, finally a callback. Finally a callback. And now something weird. You want to clean out the Zord's ears. Yeah, great. Okay, that took a twist. Okay, that's not where I expected that to go. Oh, whoa, hold up. We thought he just wanted to be a party dude. No, he wants to revive his wife. That is a wrinkle. Okay, that is a twist I did not see coming. Okay, this man is off his rocker. Hey! I'm just looking for a lost kitten. God knows. Okay, Fire Candle working with them is kind of based. I'm not gonna lie. Fire Candle working with the Gozuchus is kind of fucking base. Uh-oh, here it comes. So, okay, this is starting to come a bit deeper than I thought. It's starting to get super deep. You mean to tell me everything about the enemy is AI generated? This is starting to become an allegory. This shit's getting deeper than I expected. This is some deep shit. Destroyer of dreams, motherfucker! This is fucked. Oh wait, I can't believe you did this to Kirame Blue, you fuckers! Aw. Oh shit. Oh no, now you did it. Now you did it. Now you have fucked up, sir. You have fucked up now. Punch him! Okay, now I'm starting to understand why they got Kirame Blue for this one. That cell is amazing. Nope, you fucked up. Oh, again, I'm torn here now. I'm torn here now. I have conflict. The fuck? This episode has been damn stellar today. Holy shit. I don't know what I came in expecting out of this, but I got more than what I expected. Bring it, baby! Here's to him. It's funny how you're an AI researcher, yet you don't understand the indomitable human spirit. Oh, the Battle Royal insert, let's go! Oh my god, that ruled. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you take Berth's chest burster? You bitch! Unoriginal hack. Nice. Nope, he didn't. Okay, this just took a turn. What the fuck? Again, this I'm conflicted now. I'm conflicted. You don't know anything about love either, you fuck. This shit goes hard. What is happening? What is happening? Okay, and then like you lost me again. We literally, this is how we come back to this. It's just immediately resolved. Run the fist. Like you gave us an interesting story wrinkle at the end, and now it's just gone. Yet you lost me a little bit. And he's dead. Oh, foreboding. Nope, you're fired. Yep, you're fired. Interesting. Really, we got to do something with Garyudo. He's just lingering on the sidelines. Oh, wait, I forgot. He doesn't get... Oh, no, he's fired. Oh, or maybe not. Yep, he's dead. He's dead. Huh? So, a lot of things are starting to click. A lot of things are starting to click. Oh, there it goes. That's fucking funny. That's fucking funny. I'll admit. Oh wait, where are we? We're bringing it back. Okay. Okay. Something is happening. Something is happening. Hold on. Something is happening, and I think I like where this is going. I think I like where this is going. So, if you guys remember, past few weeks I've had complaints about Gozuja. I'd go on rants about how I feel like there's no through line. How about I feel like there's really like no attention to details, right? They're bringing it back, I think. Like, I don't know if they heard my criticism per se, but something is happening because there's a shift going on right now. And it was evident by this episode. They're doing something. there's callbacks happening here in the weirdest of ways, but they're happening. And now we're not only are we getting callbacks, we're finally calling back to Rikuo's like devoted friend, but like there's new story wrinkles being added, and on top of that, like we're starting to bring it all back. Okay, things are happening right now, right? Like I think it's. I don't want to like go against what I said. I said I wouldn't give them over an 8 unless they freaking address the issues. And I think it's still too early to say, but I think they're addressing the issues. I think they're starting to address the issues. Like it's weird that they waited till halfway through the damn series, like almost near the end of the series, to start doing it. But I actually no, I think that makes sense because we're getting near the end of the series. Like we're already almost 30 episodes in. We're getting close to the end. They need to start tying this all together, so it kind of makes sense. But I think it's all starting to come together. I think it's too early to say. I don't want to get ahead of myself. But that was an interesting story wrinkle with Gozu Eagle. That is an interesting story wrinkle. We thought he just wanted to be the party guy. Turns out he wants to bring back his wife to be as young as him, and that was never touched on in the story before. That is an interesting story wrinkle. Like, why was this never brought up before? We thought this man just wanted a party. No. He wants to bring his wife back. Like, that got deep, man. That got fucking deep. And on top of that, like, just now we know that, like, it's not just Tega June, the AI. They're all AI generated. The entirety of the existence of the Brydens is AI generated, which means the way they're being presented, even though they're quote unquote the bad guy, like they're not being presented as that anymore. And I think it's because we're finally alluding back to the Calamity. Like they're not fully disclosing it, but I think the tie-in to the Calamity is Rikuo's friend. I think Rikuo's friend is the true tie-in to the Calamity. Like it's all starting to add up. It's all starting to add up. I don't know if that's truly where we're going with it, but the Calamity is like the one big thing that the show has not touched back on. And if we're literally going by the only unexplained aspect of the show that was that also has no clear definition, it's that weird cosmic ring that Rikuo's friend has. That is not explained. That is literally the only possible thing that could be tying back to the Calamity. But besides that, I think it's going to end up, the Brydens are going to they're not going to be they're not innately evil. I think Tega June is just pursuing her own defense against the Calamity. Because ultimately it comes down to they're all AI generated, but the Gozujers, oh god, this is going to be an allegory about humans and AI finding a middle ground, I think. I think Gozuger is deeper than I gave it credit for. Like, there is shit happening. There is shit happening in this show that I did not think was going to happen. But this episode kind of puts, not a bow on it, but there's definitely this episode is tying into things. That's why I sat there in silence most of the time. It was my brain going through the entire thing of, where are we going with this? And this answered like so fucking much. There's still a lot of unanswered shit, but like everything is starting to come together. This is deep. This is getting hella deep, bro. I didn't expect this to be that deep. But it was a hell of an episode, and we're starting to tie things together. Like the Quan AI center. Like we're seeing that more now. Like Kuon's company is starting to come in. Although we still haven't seen a lot of Garyudo, but hopefully that looks like it's going to be resolved soon. And then on top of that, we're finding out that that the Brightons are actually all AI, not just Tega June. Bouquet is AI generated. Fire Candle's AI generated. The friggin' two-headed monster dude, I forget their name, AI generated. The only one that's not AI generated is Kuon, but Kuon has a vested interest in AI yeah, it's all bro. This is deep. And then on top of that, we're finally bringing Ryuko's friend back. We're finally getting a tie-in there. And then on top of that, you're adding new story wrinkles that apparently Gozu Eagle's dream goes deeper than it actually does. And like, I was not expecting all my rants to be answered. Like, holy fuck. Like, movement is happening in the world of Gozuger, and I, for one, am excited to see it. I'm not going back against my promise. I'm not giving them any 9s or 10s just yet. But they're getting there. They're starting to address shit. Things is starting to finally come together. So for now, this episode gets an 8. Gozuger gets an 8 out of 10 today. Still some issues, but things are moving. Things are moving along. And I'm interested to see where they go. Because, yeah, I was not expecting this episode of all things to start answering questions. But who'd have thunk just revealing that Bouquet is an AI answered so much unanswered shit. Like, holy fuck. So yeah, Gozuger gets an 8 out of 10 out of me today. Stellar episode. And things are moving. Things are moving along. Kind of crazy to think about. Damn. It do be like that, man. I'm pleasantly surprised by this. I was not expecting a lot going in. I had my expectations low, and I went into this episode not expecting to be blown away. Brain fucking blown. So yeah. And on that note, that will do it for the superhero Zatsudan for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show. What a show. Holy fuck. I did not expect any of this. I didn't expect a lot of stuff. Like, I was really not expecting any of those story trends to like be there. Like at all. But again, pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised by all of that. But damn, I was blown away by that. Like, I came out of that shocked more than anything. Like, goddamn. I pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised. So I think on that note, we're gonna call it a stream today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let's go ahead and raid out. I think we are going to raid into well, he's not a Gokaiger, but he's definitely a pirate. We're gonna raid into Hootie Hoo. We're gonna raid into the Hootmans. We're gonna raid into the Hootie Hoo. Make sure that y'all keep it cool as you do in that true Henshin Core way that you do. He's playing Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which goddamn, that's a damn good Metal Gear Solid. I hope to see you guys on Thursday for the for Fallout London. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed the superhero Zatsudan today. I will see you all on Thursday. I love you. You're valid. And remember, the future is in your hands. Seize it, baby. And on that note, I will see you all on Thursday. Thank you so much for watching. Peace. I take that back. They have raids. Why does everybody have raids disabled? Hold on. Everybody has raids disabled. I don't know what's going on. Trying to raid into people, and you're like, nope. Let's go ahead and raid into. Who can we raid into? You know what? We'll raid into Vulgar Queen. We'll raid into Vulgar Queen. See you guys. See you guys on Thursday. Peace.